AIDS Action Now was formed in 1987. It came actually officially online in 1988. That was sort of at the height of the epidemic. People were beginning to die in increasing numbers. There were no treatments. AZT had just come online. It didn't really work. No access to treatment, very poor care in hospitals, no information about what was going on, and real neglect on the level of different levels of government. So a company, Phison's I think it was, did a trial so that they would be the ones that would be able to get aerosolized pentamidine approved. It was a double-blind placebo trial, 300 people. Half of those people were going to receive nothing, and half were going to receive the drug. They were going to kill 10 or 15 of our friends in order to get this company approval to use something that we already knew worked. And the worst thing was that people who were desperate to get pentamidine were going into this trial and playing Russian roulette because they didn't know whether they were in the placebo group or in the real group. So our very first demonstration was to march on Toronto General Hospital, which was one of the sites of the trial.
AIDS Action Now! AIDS Action Now!
We brought a couple of coffins because we did the math again, and with a number of people enrolled there, they were going to kill 2 of our friends in order for this company to get approval for the drug. And we left the coffins on the doorstep of TGH to say, you're going to need these because you're running an ethical trial that is killing people rather than saving lives. In the mid and late 80s, there was enormous anxiety around AIDS. Even though people in the medical profession should have known that this was a blood-borne illness, there was still confusion about how easy it was to transmit, and so one would find that in different hospitals there'd be completely different protocols. In some places, people would be treated like normal patients. In other places, literally the nurses would be dressed in spacesuits. Food trays would be slipped under the door. They would be afraid to take it in and give it to people. Bedpans weren't being emptied. People were in isolation. It was really, really terrifying. People weren't being allowed to visit because we were in a community of gay men. We weren't recognized as family, right? And so, only family could visit, but of course family didn't want to visit, and therefore people were left to die alone, right? So one of the first demands of AIDS Action Now was to demand provincial standards of care so that people should know what to expect in different hospitals, and so that we would have care in hospitals that reflected the real needs of patients and the real dangers of the illness, not people's prejudices and stereotypes.
It means is that 150 people who want the drug will not be able to receive it, they'll be receiving nothing. And because they're at high risk of coming down with PCP, we estimate that at least 4 of those people will die because of this experiment.
The media didn't understand any of this because the media really didn't deal with AIDS at all in those days, right? We didn't start to get a whole lot of media attention until we burned the Minister of Health in effigy at City Hall. That was a simple message. Minister of Health, flames, burning up, then they got it. We were really upset about the way things were going. And then they began to really investigate what was going on.